My name is Enrico Giori, and I'm a designer, artist, and architecture student currently pursuing a Bachelor of Architecture at the Rhode School of Design in Providence. As a designer, I am fascinated by the realms of participatory planning and co-design. Through the implementation of experimental design methodologies, alongside the use of ad hoc design expedients for specific projects, I aim to produce work that allows for a constant dialogue between designers and users to be present. I'm a firm believer in multidisciplinarity, and I'm also extremely interested in techniques of visual representation and the assessment of their strengths and limitations. The world of design is one that you live 24/7. Creativity cannot be put on hold, and sometimes the best ideas emerge in the most outlandish of moments. As a designer, I immensely value process and its importance in creating meaningful relationships between audience and object or service produced. The lack of process evidence in the creation of what we refer to as design objects in our world is sometimes the reason for which the professional figure of the designer is challenging to unpack or understand on behalf of the general public. My personal mission as a designer is to create objects, ideas, and moments that are process aware and that people can very much interact with at a human level. One of the designers I admire most is Italian artist, designer, educator, and pedagogical researcher Bruno Munari. In his famous book, Da cosa nasce cosa, Munari outlines a design methodology that humanly dissects the abstract way in which objects come to life. Identifying problems, breaking these down into essential questions, researching and prototyping are only a few of the ingredients in his methodology for successful design. Munari's fearless experimentation in the world of design yielded a wide variety of new approaches to teach and educate people on the mission and vision of design as a discipline. The workshop format, which was extensively tested by Munari in his Roses in the Salad and Tactile Workshops projects, became, during the 70s and 80s especially, a perfect way to collect user feedback and provide educational insights into the complex world of design itself. I had the opportunity to collaborate with Museums and Stereotypes International Training School on the ideation and production of Museums and Stereotypes, the Toolkit, through a fellowship I obtained with RISD and Maharam, a leader in the global textile industry. The Maharam STEAM Fellowship in Applied Art and Design provides stipends for select internships with a government agency or nonprofit organization that normally doesn't find artists and designers as parts of its workforce. By instilling in collaboration with the Vicità, I was able to collaborate on an extensive portfolio of initiatives, ranging from urban regeneration projects, which are very much close to my practice as an architectural designer, to the ideation of the kit that is being presented and experimented with today. The kit we have been developing takes form in a deck of cards and is thought of as a kit of parts that allows individuals from different educational and cultural backgrounds to interact with issues of stereotyping within cultural institutions. Focusing on making the kit accessible to as many people as possible, we articulated a series of different activities that use the components of this deck of cards: 34 images, 24 questions, and a viewfinder card. The aspect of expert facilitation has been made optional by critically examining how information is presented so that the reach of this kit can be as broad as possible. The use of focus groups and user testing sessions was fundamental in the articulation of the prototype that can now be experienced online. After testing the kit as a fully formed prototype of a product, we have worked tirelessly to develop a second version which incorporates the feedback received. Accessibility, both conceptual and physical, has been an extremely important factor in the production and development of this training tool. Type size, image contrast, color combinations, and linguistic subtleties have been aspects that, through the valuable feedback of our focus groups, we have been forced to consider closely, and that personally I hadn't thought about so thoroughly before starting this collaboration with the Museums and Stereotypes International Training School. The kit's activities allow users, in my opinion, to really engage with looking rather than just seeing. The viewfinder, which is a tool that is normally used in the world of art and design to frame compositions, was reimagined as a way to allow people to study images and, upon a multi-layered analysis of them, understand how details from the whole image contribute to a new reading of it as a whole. Embedding technology was also significant in the production of this kit. Through an augmented reality application, we were able to introduce a visual bibliography that we can read by scanning the cards with a smartphone camera. Acknowledging the social and cultural environments in which the images presented were produced was important to us, and using a technological element such as augmented reality to add information without additional visual clutter became, after experimentation, the best avenue. This allows people to use the kit without being overwhelmed by various amounts of information all at once. The user testing groups that we worked with was producing the kit were definitely a pivotal moment in the production of the tool. As people interact with material, examining it critically, and producing their own thoughts on it, this makes strong suits and shortcomings become very apparent. The practice of critique, embedded in the pedagogical framework of art and design institutions like RISD, is something that I was especially glad to bring to the table as the lead designer of this project. Feedback is an essential component of the design process, and receiving it whilst remaining disconnected from one's personal relationship to the work, which is very much nurtured through the time spent on it, is challenging and yet essential when being a practicing designer. The constant desire to produce objects and publications that are visually pleasing and aesthetically avant-garde, which I definitely have experienced at RISD before, often causes all that surrounds the realm of accessibility to be forgotten. Type size, color combinations, overlays, and overlaps are all design elements that can be extremely intriguing to experiment with, but without proper consideration for the needs of the audience experiencing the end product, could become jeopardizing with regards to how the message is conveyed. I ended up realizing that a cool design can actually hinder how a product can deliver its message effectively. Because of this, we've been experimenting with increasing the size of type and also focusing on how the tool can use alternate technologies to convey its messages. Additionally, we have consulted with experts in the field of accessibility in order to present a reiterated prototype that caters to a broader and more diverse audience. Demystifying how projects like this come to life and recognizing the contributions that external individuals make are, in my opinion, actions that as designers we ought not only to engage in, but also promote, as they allow people to recognize not only the importance that designers and artists have within frameworks other than the fine arts and strict architecture and design, but also the need to apply new, sometimes divergent ways of thinking to contemporary problems in order to come up with new solutions. So the question is always, what's next? And this is always a great question in design, and one that makes me stressed, but also that I find really enjoyable. The kit, after a couple more months of tweaking, reframing, and redesigning, has been made available for free on the Museums and Stereotypes International Training School website. This is a free printable product that can be downloaded and used either on screen or by printing and cutting and making one's own deck of cards. Through this, we hope that many people will be able to use this tool and provide us with extensive feedback on it and its strengths and weaknesses. We also do believe in the power of this tool as an enriching way to discuss museums, stereotypes, and biases that are embedded in our cultural collections. Conceiving of this product as a marketable one in the near future is something that is particularly exciting for me, obviously as a designer, but there is most definitely a lot of work to get there. Developing a product for a marketable setting is always challenging, but by implementing human-centered design strategies and defined methodological frameworks, nothing is really quite impossible. I'm especially grateful for the opportunity I've had to work with the Museums and Stereotypes International Training School on this project, and I really do hope that this kit will bring about a positive change for the world of museums and cultural institutions. I would like to thank you all for being here today, and I wish you all the best for the future.